Okay, we've got to talk about alien implants and the new implications provided by the Nazca mummies. So let's do that. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, so Dr. Roger Leir spent his career looking at alien implants. He spent many years doing this. He removed many alien implants and studied them. Implants, would be found, all over the body, and they were tiny little things that looked like that, and you could take them out and you could examine them. Sometimes they would resist the examination. Some, like in Whitley Strieber's case, the implant moved when they tried to take it out of his ear. It actually moved. Didn't want to be taken out, but sometimes you can take it out and you can study it. You can't really tell a whole lot. We don't know what they do, what their function is. Sometimes experiencers will report they believe it's for medical purposes. Whitley Strieber was able to use his implant, he believes, to communicate with his late wife. And they actually wrote a book, or more than one book together, after she had passed away by way of this implant. However, the implant was, of course, put there before she passed. So that's probably not the reason for the implant. Unless the aliens did that looking to the future, which I guess is always possible. But we don't really know what the implants do. That's not what this video is about. This is to examine the potential implications of the implants themselves. What am I talking about? Well, of course, I am talking about the implications from the Nazca mummies. We have beings like Montserrat here, who has, a gold implant in her head. She also has multiple other implants throughout her body. And that is typical of multiple of the Nazca mummies of different varieties, because of course we have different varieties of the Nazca mummies. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Nazca mummies is these different subspecies, or whatever you want to call them. They're all tridactyl. They're all obviously all part of a larger family, but within that larger family are huge differences. Montserrat would have had a live birth. Tragically, she died when she was pregnant, as did at least two others. But the other two, however, were the little guys. These guys, and they were egg-laying beings. Egg-laying beings. I believe he is pointing out the pregnancy right there in these egg-laying little beings. So yeah, it's fascinating that there are different varieties and different subspecies. To me, that definitely indicates some sort of hybridization plan, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever they were doing, they were definitely experimenting with genetics and creating different species or subspecies, but all within the same general template, if you want to call it that, the tridactyl template, the tridactyl family. So, super fascinating. And the little guys also have implants. One has the metal implant in her chest, and multiple others. So what does that mean? Why are these little guys getting implants? What is up with that? Why does Montserrat, the human-sized one of the human-sized one, have an implant or multiple implants as well? How does that relate to the alien implants put into human beings? So I think that if we could find the answer to that, it might help us to understand the beings behind the phenomenon a little bit better. Now, we don't know why they put implants in the Nazca beings, other than possibly one example. This one right here, she apparently had a broken clavicle, possibly caused by a cat, an attack or an altercation with a cat. And these are little guys, and a cat can do some serious damage. And this could have been a wild cat, it could have been a bobcat or something like that. That would have been quite a monster to these little fellas. So the implant could possibly have been there to rectify some damage caused by that incident. However, we don't have any explanation for any of the other implants. What possible use could that have served? We just don't know. Also, it's very interesting that the implants in the Nazca beings are so different than the implants put into human beings. The implants put into human beings are very small, very minute. You don't even notice them. They're hard to detect, possibly on purpose. However, if you suspect they are there, you can get examined and you can detect them. But the Nazca mummy implants are very obvious. I mean, it's on our forehead. It's on our forehead, guys. We got forehead implants, y'all. We got forehead implants. So yeah, what does that mean? What's the significance of that? You know, again, I think understanding that could be very useful. But what does it mean that they are putting implants in us and in the Nazca beings? Well, first of all, are they putting the implants in? Because with the Nazca beings, maybe they are them, right? Maybe they are putting the implants in themselves. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because you get cases like, like this fella right here that looks so much like a gray alien. Really, really does. It's got music playing. Okay, I can't play the video, but yeah, he looks so much like a gray, as do several of the other Nazca beings. But I don't think they are grays, because there are no indications from any experiencer accounts that I've run across that grays are in any way sexual or have, reproductive abilities. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I haven't seen that. If you've seen that, let me know in the comments below. But the Nazca beings had reproductive abilities. So while they may have been part gray, they may have been hybridized and been, part gray, and the little guys may have been more gray than the larger ones like Maria or Montserrat, which seem to be more hominid, which is very interesting. But the little guys may have been more gray, but they were reproductive. They were egg-laying beings. Montserrat, of course, was not. But the mere fact that the beings, whoever is doing this, is putting these implants in us, in the Nazca beings, if that's what happened, seems to indicate that the implants either serve a specific function and that is important, or that it is part of their culture, possibly. And in their culture, you just put implants in. That's just what you do. Implants are nice to have. They serve some sort of function. It's good to have. You put them in. But it is possibly a cultural artifact. And just as much as the implants are doing something specific, which is very, very likely. But again, that's if there are beings other than the Nazca beings that are putting the implants in. It's entirely likely that the Nazca beings were putting these implants in themselves. So what does that imply? Were they, I hate to use the word aping, but were they aping this cultural artifact or institution of the Greys or other beings? In much the same way that the skull binding practitioners among humans may have been using that technique to imitate the elongated skull people, the genuine, non-human, or at least not all the way human, elongated skull people, either to emulate them or to gain similar abilities, or, who knows exactly why they did that. But they did it. So could, that be a possible factor, or could the Nazca beings being more close to the Greys or the other beings that are out there have known about this this practice and absorbed it as part of their own culture, because again, they were closer to the beings than we are, I think. And so they practice this amongst themselves, but possibly more crudely than the Greys or the other beings might do. And that's why the implants that they put in themselves are so much larger than the tiny implants that the beings are putting in humans. And I say that because I don't think that it's the same technology, or I don't think that the technology would have shifted so much in 1,000 years. I think that whoever's putting these implants in has been around for a long time, and I don't think their technical signatures, if you will, would have changed so much in 1,000 years from these very large implants to the tiny implants seen in human abductees and contactees. But getting back to the cultural part of it, if the Greys and potentially other beings out there like to put implants in their experiments, if that is possible. It's also possible that the Greys or the other beings that may have had a hand in the creation of the Nazca beings may have instructed them in how to put implants in because of whatever purpose they served, and also, again, because it may have been a cultural institution among the Greys. You know, that's just what they did. That's the way it was always done. You put implants in, they do something, and it's good to have implants, so let's put some implants in. You know, it may have just been as simple as that. That they serve a function, but it's also possibly, conceivably, a cultural institution. And if they taught the Nazca beings how to do this, or if the Nazca beings learned how to do this from them, and the beings are putting implants in human beings, what does that imply? Well, if they were teaching the Nazca beings how to do this, and they thought it was important for the Nazca beings to do that because of their connection, possibly, because, you know, we don't see them putting implants in rabbits, right? I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they do. I mean, we don't know. We probably don't examine a whole lot of rabbits for implants. But let's just, you know, for fun, let's just say that they are putting the implants in the Nazca beings in not rabbits, and they are also putting implants in human beings. That seems to imply that we are possibly some sort of project of theirs, some sort of experiment possibly that gives some credence to the idea that beings may have created us, just as they very likely created the Nazca beings. So, you know, the sign of an implant could be the sign of the creator putting a stamp on his creation, or at least interacting with his different creations or its different creations in similar ways, putting implants in the Nazca beings or instructing them how to do that, and putting implants in human beings, interacting with us in similar ways. That does, to me, add credence to the idea that the beings may have created humanity. It can also be really useful to learn if the Greys put implants in themselves, because if it's a cultural institution, maybe they practice it among themselves, or maybe they only put it in their subjects. I don't know if they put it in themselves. The only known credible autopsy that I've heard about of a Grey or a Grey type being anyway is from The Day After Roswell by Colonel Philip J. Corso. Now, there's some stuff in that book that the ghostwriter took some major liberties with, but I believe that the autopsy chapter of that book is more or less the way it happened. And I don't recall any implants mentioned in that chapter. Fact check me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't remember any implants. Very weird body, very artificially created, or, you know, very specifically designed for certain purposes, I guess I should say. You know, a organic robot, if you will, or something like that. But no implants. So what are the implications of that if they don't put implants in themselves, but only in their subjects? Again, all of this is just speculation. I'm just raising some questions, guys. I hope you guys have the answers, because I sure don't have the answers. But I think that these are important questions, and if we could understand the answers to some of these, that would really help us understand the phenomenon and the beings behind the phenomenon a lot more than we do right now, or at least I do. So let me know what you think about the implants and the implications of the implants in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this speculative video, give a big thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. And like and smash, subscribe, become a channel member to support Cosmic Road. Buy some merch in the merch store. That really helps. Also, there are plenty of other videos on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.